Hey, what's going on everyone? NoZoupForYou here, and the decision was finally upon me. As it has been laid upon so many other people's feet, the choice of whether to get the Ohio or the Colbert. After months of just kind of being lazy, I finally decided to go through the lines that I reset and get the required points, credits, or whatever the hell they're called, for the armory to go ahead and purchase either the Ohio or the Colbert. And I really waffled on my decision. You know, for the longest time, I said I was going to get the Ohio. I remember playing it when testing, and I thought it was a good ship back then. And you see them all over the place. But then a little part of me said, you know what? Colbert was fun as well when I played it. I mean, it was basically a Haragumo in French cruiser form, or just name any other fast, rapid-firing ship. I mean, the ability for it to just lay down suppressing fire was amazing, and I enjoyed it for that. So, in the past couple days before making my purchase, I really was leaning towards the Colbert. Just for the troll factor, and I firmly believe that if there were as many Colberts out there as there were Smolensks, I think people would be complaining more about the Colbert than the Smolensk. The only difference is the Colbert actually can get rocked if you hit it. If the battleship nails it, you can easily destroy it. Unlike the Smolensk, which seems to just let shells pass right through it. So I was dead set for the past few days on getting the Colbert, and then when the time came, I hit the button and went with the Ohio. And why did I go with the Ohio? Well, my streaming buddies said, yeah, I get that. You know, if you get the Colbert, one of us is going to have to lay smoke for you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, alright, I can see that. I can understand that. I can respect that. So I went with the Ohio. And about 7 or 8 rounds in, I am so regretting my decision. So regretting my decision. And it's not that the Ohio's a bad ship. It's not. It's a good battleship. I mean, I don't think it'll ever surpass the Montana, in my opinion, just because I have a very, very fond spot for the Montana. But I don't know. I haven't been able to produce with it. Maybe it's because I'm rusty. I don't know. But it feels like every single shell I fire passes through the ship I'm firing it at. It's like overpen city. And that leads me to a bigger issue. Battleships are just boring right now. Ohio's boring. Battleships are boring. I mean, the class... It's just... I don't want to say it's a dying class, but it's not as fun as it used to be. And when I started off this game, I played primarily in battleships. I was a battleship main for a while, and then slowly that shifted to cruisers and destroyers, and honestly, I've split my time pretty evenly amongst the 3 ships. But I'll be honest, I get no joy out of battleships anymore. I just don't. And I know a lot of players feel the exact same way about battleships. And part of the problem is the proliferation of HE spamming ships. And your Smolensks, yeah, I gotta bring that up. But as of late, it just seems like as a battleship, you know, I'm a firm believer that if you catch an enemy ship dead to rights, you deserve to slaughter it. You deserve to one-shot it. And early off in the game, you could do that fairly regularly. I remember one-shotting a lot of ships in battleships. And just as of late, it seems like it happens less and less. And I don't know if it's just me. Maybe some of you other battleship mains out there, if you still exist, can let me know your opinion. But I feel like with the ships that have been coming out, in the Ohio, it's been overpen city. I've never overpenned so many ships in my life, and mainly cruisers. And it gets old. You know, if a cruiser's broadside to me at 10 kilometers, and I'm in a battleship, it does not deserve to survive if you land all your shots. It just doesn't. It means he screwed up. He did something wrong. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time when you fired. He deserves to die. Not allow 6 of your shells to pass right through him like he was absolutely nothing. And that's why I'm sick of battleships. That's why I'm tired of them. And that's why I regret getting the Ohio right now. I mean, it's the same gameplay as every other battleship. Slowly creep up throughout the match, firing every 25 or 30 seconds, and unlike in recent years, now your shells don't even do quite the damage. I mean, I hate to say it, but you're almost better off using HE at this point in a battleship. I know, right? That's horrible to say that, because that's something you're not supposed to do. Or at least that's what conventional wisdom tells you you're not supposed to do. Of course, that went out the window with the Conqueror. And speaking of Conqueror, I feel Thunder is one of the few ships out there right now, battleships at least, that can still rain pain on a continual and regular basis against all ships. But your traditional battleships that rely on AP at this point, they're just not fun anymore. I mean, what's the fun in a battleship pushing up on a position and all of a sudden you're just having HE shell after HE shell slung at you from a Smolensk that somehow is getting its shells over a mountain? I don't know. And a lot of players feel the same way. And I'm not saying battleships suck, they don't. And if you're a battleship main out there and you're making them work for you and you're still enjoying them, I'm happy for you. I really am. I'm not enjoying them right now. I'm not happy in them. And I see that the population of battleships has actually decreased. I don't see as many battleships anymore. I mean, they're still prevalent in every single game mode, but they don't make up the majority anymore. The majority are your cruisers. Now you're seeing a ton of Venezias and ships like that. It's not a good time to be a battleship player, a battleship main. It's not a good time for battleships, period. The game has moved away from devastating strikes in battleships. I've gotten more devastating strikes in cruisers lately than I have in battleships. I don't know, it just feels off. It doesn't feel right. But that's where we're at right now. So I regret getting the Ohio. Deeply. I mean, I'd rather take the challenge of the Colbert, knowing that if I screw up, I'm going to get rocked. And speaking of which, Smolensk should have the exact same armor layout as the Colbert. The exact same layout. It should get punished the same way Colbert does, if it's caught broadside or in the wrong spot. Colbert actually takes severe hits. You gotta play smart in it. But when you play smart, you're rewarded. And you're gonna frustrate the hell out of people. So yeah, out of the two, man, if you're on the fence right now on what to get, sure, you can get the Ohio, but it's just like any other battleship out there right now. And every battleship out there right now is just, I don't know, because of the current meta of the game and the situation, battleships are afraid to move up. I mean, it's always been that way, but even good players are afraid to move up in battleships right now. Just because the risk is not worth the reward. It's too hard to take out enemy ships now. And especially with the addition of the supercruisers, ships like the Alaska and the Kronstadt and the Stalingrad. Cruisers that can actually citadel battleships quite regularly and somewhat easily. With those ships in the game now, it even makes less sense for a battleship to push up and do the things that a battleship should do. So yeah, I'm not going to say I'm done with battleships, but I find no joy in them anymore. I really don't. I'm sticking to destroyers, primarily, because I love destroyers, and I always will. And then cruisers. And when I say cruisers, the tried and tested cruisers that I absolutely love, like the Des Moines with Legendary module. I still have a fond spot for that ship, which that one's even been power crept by the ships we've gotten lately, by the cruisers we've gotten lately. And we haven't even gotten the Russian cruisers yet. They're in the pipeline. They're getting ready to hit right now. With this patch, we've got the pre-release of them. So again, there's another cruiser that's just going to have an adverse effect on the battleship population and battleships as a whole. I don't know if I can take it much anymore. So yeah, I'll play battleships every now and then. I mean, they're still not horrible, but they're just not fun anymore. And they don't have the impact that they used to. Really, this has become a game of cruisers. And I guess that's what we need to stick to. Or gunboat destroyers, I don't know. But anyhow, those are my thoughts right now. Battleships are just not in a good spot. And I hate to see this, but it's my opinion. If you disagree, let me know. I got no problem with that. If you're still enjoying Battleships, let me know. I love to hear that, because the class still does have utility. I just don't find any joy in it anymore. And I'm wondering how many of you Battleship mains, or former Battleship mains, feel the same way. Let me know in the comments of this video. Other than that, I hope you all are doing great, and I'll talk to you all later. Zoop out.